is Paige. I'm a 31-year-old full-time housewife. This is my 3rd year of being married to my husband, Jonathan. And between my husband and I, we were finally able to be blessed with our very first child. We knew early on that the gender of our baby was a girl, and so we named her Pauline. And we can't wait to welcome Pauline into the world. On the day that I gave birth, Jonathan wasn't able to be there as it was happening because he was extremely busy with work. But afterwards, when I messaged him, Jonathan, our sweet baby girl Pauline, was born! He came running to the hospital as soon as possible. As soon as he sees Pauline's face, Jonathan is probably going to burst into tears of happiness. That's what I thought. However, Jonathan's reaction was shocking.
Paige, the birth went well? Let me see. I want to see our baby.
That's right. She's a healthy baby girl. Look, she's so small and look how cute she is. As I said that, Jonathan looked down at Pauline's face and he didn't say anything at all. I was wondering what's the matter, but then suddenly...
What is this? This ugly child. I bet you cheated on me, didn't you?
Huh? What are you saying? Obviously that's not the case. Not only that, but those words. Is that what you should be saying to your wife that just gave birth? I can't believe this!
No matter what you say, I'm not going to accept it!
Like I said, I haven't cheated on you. Does it really look like I would ever do such a thing? And you don't have any proof of that at all. Cut it out already! Even though I had just given birth a few hours ago and my body was beaten up, I never could have imagined that out of everything he could possibly say, that's what he said to me. My mother had come to the hospital to help me after I gave birth, but when she overheard this conversation, she was shocked too. Jonathan, all babies that are newly born, they look like this, and their faces are red and full of wrinkles. You can't tell immediately after they're born which parent they look like.
But I think it's really obvious that it's not my child.
That's not true at all. After a few days, once you've calmed down and you look at Pauline's face one more time, I think you'll see that she looks different than she does today. Come on, Paige is exhausted from giving birth today, and as you can see, Pauline is fast asleep already, so we can discuss this further another day.
All right. Well then, I'm gonna go home for today.
Thanks to my mother quietening down Jonathan's anger, we were somehow able to contain the conversation that day. And this is why my mom is so amazing. But even still, what on earth was that? When you think about the life I've had until now, and also my personality, there's no way that I would ever cheat, and Jonathan should know that better than anybody. On that day, in order to send my mother off, who helped me so much, I headed towards the front door of the hospital. However, right there and then, I happened upon a scene that I was definitely not supposed to see. That strategy earlier, it went down well, didn't it? Immediately after birth, everyone is extremely exhausted, so when they're told, "That's not my child," like that, they just shrink and can't say anything back.
Well, this is why you're the best, Karen. I've been thinking all this time how to get a divorce from her. But if there's a way to do it this easy, I should have spoken to you about it sooner. That was a piece of cake.
Well then, when you get divorced, does that mean I'll have you all to myself, Jonathan?
Yeah, of course. And this is why women in their 20s are way better than old hags past 30.
Oh, silly Johnny. But you know I don't hate this bad boy side of you either.
Well then, when you're done with work today, come on over to my house again. I'm off work tomorrow, so we can spend plenty of quality time together. And then, I'm gonna get a divorce. And when I get the settlement fee, let's go on a vacation.
Yeah, that's great. Nice idea. I can't wait. Wait, what the hell is that? I was thinking something was weird. I knew it. The reason why he accused me of having an affair is because he was the one cheating on me. He was projecting. Not only that, I couldn't believe that this is what he was doing with a nurse at the hospital where I gave birth. I was so furious that I really wanted to confront him and take him down on the scene. And I was just about to storm over to there to give him a piece of my mind. But then I felt a firm hand stop me on the shoulder. Paige, this is where you stay patient. Huh? But he's doing this right in front of my own eyes. I have to say something. You can leave this to your mother. Let's let him swim here for a little while. It's going to be fine. Sure. All right. Even in these circumstances, my mother maintained her calmness and reason. And so, when I listened to my mother and saw her expression, I had no doubt that she must be up to something. So, I was able to forget about my anger, but at the same time, my mother has always been calm and quiet. There was a part of me that was worried if everything was going to be fine again, but for now, I needed to regain my physical stamina, and I told myself over and over again that I would put my all into raising my daughter. However, unfortunately, starting tomorrow and until my discharge date, the person that was assigned to be taking care of me was none other than Karen. Miss Page, is your husband not coming to visit today? He must be quite busy with work. But I saw him the other day. Your husband is so handsome. Oh, is that so? Well, thank you for saying so. I played dumb and responded. If he's that husband, then he looks like he might have one or two affairs, because I think he's the type of man that women can't leave alone if they ever get married. I hope it's somebody just like your husband, Miss Page. Sure? Thinking that I didn't know anything, Karen was bluntly saying things like this to me. Deep down inside, I was furious, but I couldn't say anything back. Every single day was infuriating, but thankfully, both Pauline and I were both recovering steadily, and 1 week after giving birth, I was able to be discharged from the hospital. When I realized that I wouldn't have to see Karen's face anymore, I felt a weight lifted off my shoulders. However, as soon as I got back home, I was just being attacked by Jonathan's harassment. That's right, because he wants to get a divorce from me, he's probably trying to corner me and push me out. On top of that, every single time he would only make these statements whenever my mother wasn't around.
I didn't know that these little brats cried this loud. I wish I could have enjoyed this time by myself more, so you could have stayed in the hospital for another month.
Well, so sorry about that. If it was in the hospital, I get 3 meals a day and also don't have to clean up the house, so it would have been easier for me too.
Huh? What is that? Even though you're a housewife, are you complaining?
Nope, nothing. It's just that you said you wanted to enjoy time by yourself, so I was just agreeing with what you were saying.
Damn it, who do you think you are? Even still, even though it's been 10 days after you gave birth, that baby definitely doesn't look like me. Because if it looked like me, there's no way it would be this ugly.
Oh my, is that so? I think you made a mistake. Don't you mean because she doesn't look like you, that's why she's this cute?
What?
Ugh, what a chore. Even though Pauline is this cute, how can he call her ugly? Every single day, instead of accepting his harassment, little by little I was retaliating. And all the while, I was just continuing to collect evidence that he was having an affair. Of course, with the help of my mother. Then, 2 months later, I had gotten used to being a mother, and without the help of my mom, I was somehow able to take care of the house and the chores and my baby all by myself. I had plenty of evidence gathered, and I had to do now was wait for the perfect timing. And after a few more weeks passed after that, it was on a Sunday. My mother, Pauline, and I had plans to go out together that day. For Pauline, this was going to be her first time outside besides the hospital. When my mom arrived, I gathered the baby stroller and diapers. I had gathered a lot of stuff to go out when, suddenly, Jonathan started to cause a fuss.
Even though it's already been 3 months, look at her! Pauline doesn't look anything like me! You said it yourself, didn't you, ma'am? That after some time, her face might change?
Right, that's true. I did say that. Because that is the truth after all.
Hey, Paige, there's definitely something going on with you. You're acting weird. What are you hiding? And since your mother is here, it's perfect timing. Why don't you confess? Come on, confess! And your mom is going to be the witness.
Here we go again, and right before we're about to leave nonetheless. This guy, he's seriously good for nothing. I did think that it was a waste of time just entertaining him, but I took the opportunity to say it to him straight. Like I said, how many times do I have to tell you for you to understand? I have and would never cheat. The fact that you're accusing me so much could mean that there's something going on with you instead.
What are you saying? Huh? You, as the cherry on top of cheating on me, you gave birth to a kid this ugly, so... So who do you think you're talking to?
Wow, because I hit the nail on the head, he's suddenly panicking.
You better stop messing around. I'm gonna get a settlement fee from you and get a divorce. I'm never going to forgive you!
Jonathan was screaming at me with an extreme face. But when I looked over at my mother, her face was bright red and she was squeezing both of her hands into tight fists, and I could tell that she was holding in her anger. This is bad. Is it almost time for the eruption? Jonathan, if he angers my mother any more than this. But that concern was already in vain. My mother slammed both hands into the table with all her strength and completely transformed into the devil. You bastard! You bastard, saying whatever the hell you want. Who is the one that's getting carried away and lying out of their teeth, huh? Jonathan had only ever seen my calm and peaceful mother when he was shaking from head to toe.
Huh? What? But, ma'am, what's going on?
Shut your mouth! Who do you mean? What's going on? I've been listening to this whole time. Who do you think you are? When you don't even have any clue how difficult it is to give birth.
Even if you say that...
Shut up, shut up, shut up! And the cherry on top, calling your own child ugly and that it doesn't look like you? Seriously, who the hell do you think you are? Do you think we don't know anything about what you've been up to?
Well, you see, hey, Paige, help me out!
You bastard! I'm going to ask you one more time. Are you doing anything suspicious? Answer me!
Well, that's hey, Paige! What on earth is going on? I didn't know that your mother was like this!
I was desperately holding in my laughter and enjoying the show. I held back my laughter with every bit of energy and I said this. What? That's what you want to talk about, Jonathan? Well, my mom is famous that you should never make her angry. You didn't know that?
Obviously, there's no way I would know that!
But more importantly, the guest of honor is going to be arriving soon, right?
Huh? Wait, how do you know about that?
Actually, it turns out that Jonathan was planning on pushing the divorce on me to today and discussing the settlement fee with me. However, it's not going to go like that because my mom and I have been eagerly waiting this day too. As we were going back and forth, the doorbell rang and it was none other than Jonathan's mistress, Karen, appearing. Of course, I knew in advance that she was going to be visiting us today. Well, the whole cast is here. Why don't we curtains this once and for all? Jonathan, I'm here! So, what about the divorce? Did it go as planned? This brainless, useless woman didn't even think about reading the room and boldly stomped into the room. She was just like a happy little fly going right into the fire. Here she is! Here she is!
Shoot!
Karen came in, took a look around the room, and started to sweat. Wait, what? Why is everybody here? That's not what you told me.
Wait, Karen, I told you until I got to the bottom of things with my wife today to definitely not come over!
But you were the one that contacted me, Jonathan. That it was already resolved to come over? What's going on? That's right, I was the one who contacted her. Wow, both of them are super panicking. They're both completely pale. Actually, I messed around a little bit with Jonathan's cell phone and I was the one that lured you here. We'll let you swim around for a while, but that ends today. What do you mean, let us swim? Does that mean you knew about our relationship? Yep, that's right. The only people that didn't know anything were these two. You idiots! Looks like you didn't know anything about how good our eyesight is. We saw the two of you flirting in the hospital, and not only that, but doing as you please in this house. We've seen it all. And yet you're going to divorce because the baby doesn't look like you? A settlement fee? Isn't that hilarious? This is how much evidence that we have already. There's no running away now. As my mother said that, she pulled out all of the photo evidence and material that we had gathered until then and threw them all around the house. Wait, what is this? When did you gather all this evidence?
What is all of this?
Jonathan started picking up a number of the photo evidences and he was completely pale. Because within those photos were photos of Karen. Of course, with a guy other than Jonathan looking very much in love.
You Didn't you tell me that you were just waiting for me to get a divorce from this woman? Who's that? This guy! Are you dating this guy too?
When she heard that, even though Karen was trying to play cool until now, she was also completely pale. Oh, Jonathan, you didn't know? She's still young, but she's already married.
What?
And not only that, but she has a child and was having an affair with you. Isn't that tough? Oh, that reminds me. Separately from that, apparently she has a number of relationships with a few of the hospitalized patients. I mean, really, her stamina's almost impressive.
What the hell? I didn't hear about any of this! Karen, did you betray me?
Jonathan was trying to push the divorce onto me and then found out the woman he was trying to get the divorce for was actually betraying him, and the living room had turned into a complete war zone. Well, our revenge doesn't just end here, because look, my mom was still in her devil persona. All the results from this investigation, Karen, I've already sent it all to your husband's workplace. What? No, you've got to be kidding! You may have tried to squeeze a settlement fee out of my daughter, but I wonder who it is actually going to be ending up paying it. Isn't this going to be interesting? No way! If my husband finds out about this is bad. Hey, listen, I was just messing around with this person. I had no intention of ever being with him in the first place.
What? Hey, no way!
There it is, the big revenge, the worlds of betrayal. How pathetic. Jonathan, did you hear that? She said she has no intention of ever being with you. So even if you were able to squeeze a settlement fee out of me, this woman would have sucked it all away from you, and that would have been the end. So either way, it looks like your fate was to end up alone. But then suddenly, Jonathan now changed his tune.
Paige, I'm sorry. To tell you the truth, I always thought that you were the only one for me. I regret it. So please, let's start over again as a family of 3, okay?
This was the typical pattern. An apology into asking to start over. Obviously, there's no way I would ever forgive that. Of course, my mom either. Whose mouth did those words just come out of? Weren't you the one saying Pauline doesn't look like you and that she's ugly, you bastard? And yet, after all that, you're asking to start over as a family of 3? I've had enough of your idiotic nonsense. As if anything in life would ever be that convenient. There is no because immediately after I gave birth, you called this cute baby ugly, and even when I was suffering, you started accusing me of having an affair. There's no way I was ever gonna forgive you. I'm going to collect a settlement fee from you and that woman, so I'll give you a one-way ticket to hell. I hope you're ready. Anyway, we're gonna be leaving this house as of today, so moving forward, we can discuss everything through my lawyer. Karen, you better be prepared too. But no! The two of them crumbled into tears. We ignored that, and my mom and Pauline and I walked out of the house. After that, Jonathan called me over and over again, and every day he was repeating the same apology, but of course there was no way I was gonna forgive him. After that, I confronted the two of them head-on and took them down. From Jonathan, I was able to collect a settlement fee and child support fees in one payment. I also received the settlement fee from Karen, and I'm very satisfied. Karen's husband also filed for divorce, and he was able to get a settlement fee as well as full parental custody of their child. Well, this is the result of her own doing. Jonathan's company found out that he was having an affair, and he was fired from his job. On top of that, now that he was riddled in debt, and I heard that he's working multiple part-time jobs from morning until night. As for Karen, she was caught by the debt collectors, and I heard that she's been put to work at a pretty sketchy job. Look at the two of them. Tom. Hey, Mom. Thank you for everything. That was the first time I've seen you that angry in a long time. And it really is unbeatable. It has so much power. I know, right? Even your late father. He said he loved the difference between my hot and cold and said he fell in love with me. I see. Now I also need to become strong as a mother. That's right. And I'm also going to keep working hard. For Pauline's sake, too. I'm also going to work hard for Pauline. Thank you for watching! What kind of crazy people will we get to see next? Stay tuned for more!